Something impossible has entered our solar system. It doesn't glow. It doesn't roar. It doesn't even announce its arrival. But everything begins to fall apart. Jupiter's storms freeze. Saturn's rings twist into impossible shapes. And the sun itself starts trembling. As if something invisible, something massive, is quietly devouring the fabric of space around it. And then the truth hits us. A supermassive black hole, the kind that normally lives in the center of galaxies, has slipped into our solar system. And our countdown has already begun. Stay with me, because what happens next is not what you think. We're not talking about a small stellar black hole. We mean a monster millions of times the mass of the Sun. An object so dense that time itself slows near it. And light bends like liquid. So what happens if such a cosmic titan drifts into our cosmic backyard? How long do we survive? What gets destroyed first? And is there anything humans can do? Let's fall into the truth together. Before we begin, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter of the universe. You'll need it. A supermassive black hole doesn't need to enter our solar system to affect it. Its gravity stretches across light years. So the first warning isn't visual. There's no glowing sphere, no swirling vortex. The first warning is that the planets stop behaving. Astronomers begin noticing small orbital deviations. Fractions of a degree. Tiny, almost ignorable. But they're happening everywhere. And at the same time, millions of clocks on Earth start to drift out of sync. Not by minutes, but by microseconds. Time itself is being distorted. Ever so slightly. Because the structure of spacetime is being pulled towards something enormous. The public doesn't notice. Governments barely notice. But astrophysicists? They panic. Because there is only one object in the universe that can distort both space and time from this far away. A supermassive black hole is approaching us. What the sky looks like, 2:20 to 3 o'clock. Weeks later, you'd finally see it. Not as a bright object, but as a hole in the stars. A perfect circle where the night sky is simply missing. No light. No reflection. Just a silent, devouring shadow. And around that void, the stars begin to stretch into arcs. A gravitational lens so strong it warps the entire backdrop of space. Like a cosmic funhouse mirror. That's when humanity realizes this is real. And it's coming. By the time the supermassive black hole reaches the outer solar system, near the Oort cloud, the damage has already begun. The Oort cloud, a vast sphere of icy objects surrounding the solar system, starts to collapse inward. Comets that have been silent for billions of years are suddenly pulled from their orbits like dust caught in a hurricane. Tens of thousands of them are redirected. Some slingshot toward interstellar space. Others hurled straight toward the inner solar system. This begins what astronomers fear most. A cosmic bombardment era. But this is only the beginning. Neptune, the most distant planet, is the first major world to feel the black hole's gravity directly. Its orbit stretches, as if someone grabbed the planet by an invisible rope and tugged gently. A shift of only a few %, but enough to destabilize the entire gravitational harmony of the outer planets. Neptune's blue atmosphere begins displaying massive, unnatural storms. Not from heat, but from tidal forces. Gravity squeezing and stretching the planet like putty. Its moons start drifting off balance, their orbits warping into strange loops, as the black hole's influence grows stronger. And all of this is happening while the black hole is still billions of kilometers away. Next in line is Uranus, a planet already tilted dramatically on its side. But under the influence of a supermassive black hole, Its strange tilt becomes a deadly weakness. The black hole's tidal forces begin twisting Uranus even further. Its axis wobbles violently, like a spinning top about to fall. The atmosphere reacts instantly. Jet streams tear across the planet at supersonic speeds, forming bands of storms that wrap around the entire world. Temperatures swing wildly, from extreme cold to sudden bursts of internal heating, as the planet's interior is stretched and squeezed. For the first time in billions of years, Uranus becomes geologically active again. Its moons, once in stable circular orbits, start spiraling into chaotic paths. Some drift outward. Others begin falling inward toward the planet, as if the entire Uranian system is being shaken apart. Saturn's rings start to break, 610 to 710. Saturn faces a different nightmare. Its iconic rings, made of billions of icy particles, are extremely vulnerable to gravitational disruption. As the black hole's gravity begins pulling on Saturn, the delicate balance holding the rings together collapses. The rings distort into spirals, stretching into long, twisted streams of ice that whip around the planet like cosmic ribbons. Some particles fall toward Saturn, creating massive glowing streaks as they burn in the atmosphere. Others are flung outward and become deadly projectiles across the outer solar system. Saturn's moons also destabilize, with Titan, its largest moon, experiencing tidal heating so intense that entire methane seas begin to churn violently. The solar system is no longer stable. The dominoes have begun to fall. When the supermassive black hole's influence reaches Jupiter, the solar system finally enters its breaking point. Jupiter is often called the guardian of the planets. Its immense gravity protects us by swallowing or deflecting dangerous asteroids. But now, that same gravity becomes a weakness. The black hole's tidal forces begin stretching Jupiter along one axis. It's subtle at first, but within days the planet becomes noticeably distorted, like a balloon being pulled from opposite ends. The Great Red Spot, a storm older than human civilization, begins to unravel. Its swirling bands twist apart, torn to shreds by gravitational turbulence. Deep inside Jupiter's atmosphere, pressures rise to unimaginable levels. Hydrogen begins compressing into metallic states faster than ever before, sending shockwaves through the entire planet. Jupiter is groaning under the weight of a cosmic predator. Then the real chaos begins. Jupiter has 95 moons, and every one of them is thrown into orbital insanity. Europa's icy crust cracks as tidal forces heat its hidden ocean. Io, already the most volcanic world in the solar system, erupts so violently that plumes rise hundreds of kilometers high. Ganymede and Callisto begin drifting out of orbit, their balance broken, their paths stretched into extreme ellipses. Some moons may even collide. Others could be ejected into deep space, as the black hole twists the entire Jovian system like a whirlpool. And every unstable moon becomes a potential projectile aimed toward the inner planets, including us. The solar system's largest planet is no longer a protector. It has become a weapon. Between Mars and Jupiter lies the asteroid belt, a region filled with millions of rocky fragments, remnants of a planet that never formed. Under normal conditions, it's stable, predictable, quiet. But as the supermassive black hole's gravity pulls harder on the solar system, this silence ends. Asteroids begin drifting out of their usual paths. Some collide with each other, shattering into clouds of debris. Others are accelerated inward, gaining speed as they fall toward the inner planets. This marks the beginning of something terrifying. A planetary-scale meteor storm. Earth is not hit yet. But astronomers can see it coming. The sky is filling with incoming objects. Trajectories that were once harmless are now pointing directly at the inner solar system. And there is nothing we can do to stop it. Mars, smaller and weaker than Earth, is the next victim of gravitational distortion. Its orbit begins to stretch, pulling it slightly closer to the Sun at some points, and much farther away at others. This shift creates violent climate extremes. Dust storms big enough to engulf the entire planet become permanent. Polar ice caps begin to fracture as tidal forces squeeze the crust. Mars' two tiny moons, Phobos and Deimos, become unstable as well. Phobos begins spiraling downward, racing toward the surface like a doomed satellite. If it crashes, it will release an explosion thousands of times stronger than any nuclear weapon. Meanwhile, pieces of the asteroid belt start crossing Mars' distorted orbit, creating a deadly crossfire of rocks and metal. Every object propelled inward is one step closer to Earth. The solar system is becoming a shooting gallery, and the black hole is loading the gun. Long before the supermassive black hole reaches the inner solar system, Earth begins to tremble. Not from earthquakes, not from storms, but from space itself being stretched. Satellites drift a few centimeters off their expected positions. GPS systems fail. Tides grow stronger as the gravitational fabric around Earth warps ever so slightly. For the first time, humans feel the universe pulling on them. Clocks begin losing microseconds every hour, a sign that time around Earth is no longer flowing evenly. Astronomers issue global alerts. They know what's coming. The black hole's tidal forces start affecting Earth's rotation. Just a tiny amount, but enough to speed up the planet by milliseconds each day. We wouldn't notice at first, but the climate would. Jet streams shift unnaturally. Storms migrate across continents in unpredictable ways. Weather patterns that used to be stable begin collapsing into chaos. Meanwhile, Earth's orbit starts to warp. Not enough to throw us into space, but enough to destabilize the gravitational harmony that life depends on. The moon's orbit distorts too. It drifts a little farther away, and then a little too close. Its tidal pull intensifies, creating massive tides that slam into coastlines like moving mountains of water. Cities near the sea face flooding on a scale humanity has never witnessed. And the black hole is still millions of kilometers away. When the supermassive black hole finally enters the inner solar system, reality begins to warp in ways the human mind was never meant to witness. The sun's light bends around it, forming a glowing ring, an Einstein ring that stretches and twists like liquid fire. Mercury is the first planet to fall. Its orbit shrinks violently as it spirals toward the sun, or is ripped outward toward the black hole. Venus follows. Its thick atmosphere superheats, glowing like a molten world as tidal forces tear its surface apart. Everything inside the inner solar system is caught in a gravitational nightmare with no escape. Then comes the most dramatic moment in Earth's history. The moon, our stabilizer, our protector, the ancient companion that shaped our tides and seasons, is pulled into a death spiral. Its orbit becomes so distorted that the moon stretches into a teardrop shape. Cracks split across its surface. Mountain-sized fragments break off and scatter into space. And then, in a blinding flash, the moon is torn apart completely, shattered into a ring of molten debris that glows across Earth's sky. like a burning scar. Without the moon, Earth becomes a world unhinged. As the black hole draws nearer, its tidal forces overpower Earth's own gravity. The oceans begin to rise. Not as waves, but as entire basins lifting toward the sky. Water climbs upward in mountain-sized bulges that move slowly across continents, dragging storms, clouds, and entire weather systems with them. The atmosphere stretches into a long funnel, pulled toward the black hole, like the planet itself is beginning to unravel. Temperatures soar. Earthquakes erupt everywhere. Volcanoes awaken. The crust bends under forces no planet is built to endure. Earth is entering its final hours. In its last moments, Earth is no longer a blue world. The atmosphere tears away, like smoke being sucked into a vacuum. Continents crack. Oceans rise into the sky. The crust folds inward as gravity loses its meaning. From space, Earth looks like a trembling orb of light. Distorted, stretched, shimmering in impossible shapes. As the supermassive black hole pulls it apart, piece by piece, the planet does not explode. It unravels. Its mountains, oceans, clouds, everything, spiral into a thin, glowing stream of matter that wraps around the black hole. Like a cosmic ribbon, Earth becomes a beautiful, tragic halo of light. If anyone is still alive to look up, they won't see the sky. They'll see a whirlpool of fire and stardust, where the moon used to be. They'll hear the world itself bending and cracking beneath their feet. There is no pain, just a strange, overwhelming stillness, as time slows to a crawl. And then, silence. Millions of years from now, nothing will remain of the solar system but a glowing disk of matter, swirling around a silent, invisible monster. To the universe, our home will be nothing more than a ripple in an ocean of darkness. But to us, it was everything. If you want to keep exploring the hidden edges of the universe, the places where physics breaks, where time dissolves, where light itself surrenders, subscribe. We're only just beginning to uncover the truths waiting in the dark.